the competition in the dust.
Poverty stricken, this life that we live in, they promise us prison. That's why we robbing and killing, trying to vision a life away from this hood. Get millions.
Black magic, God, Holy Ghost, Lord, orgasmic, order more acid, more than 4 tablets, portal door passage, born before mortal war happened. We were lords way before we were poor black men. Now we like Catherine, only having 4 Jacksons. Sword of pure magic, slaughter 4 dragons. Heat like corduroy fabric, door-to-door tactics. Easy like tortoise on boarded floor backspins. Rapping like the man that created it, and I just play with it. Shine radiant, raising it, sunbathing it. Voice tone sharper than razor tip. When I aim it at megaliths, make them raise and lift. You can't relate to this, even if you paint a pic of me and you and somehow make the faces switch. I like to babysit, throne made of baby skin, donated by natives that procreate in sin. They gon' need to raise the rim. They gon' need a cage in that gymnasium. I play to win, Will Still Chamberlain. Put the globe on my middle finger and made it spin. They gon' need to raise the rim. They gon' need a cage in that gymnasium. I play to win, Will Still Chamberlain.
Thanks.
How much time I got, King?
Lord have mercy.
Nah, because I know it's here, so I want to...
All right, we got till 9:30.
Get started.
Get started.
All right.
9:30.
So the first question I have for Dr. Phil Valentine was a magnificent presentation today, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks.
I mean, absolutely magnificent. The question I have is, I hear everything. You know how you process something on an intellectual level, but then on another level, you have questions. So on an intellectual level, I'm like, this nigga's deep. But on another level, I got questions. So that's why I'm here. I got questions, y'all. In terms of, you're talking about the Matrix, Dr. Valentine, and you're talking about an illusion, and you show clips of Neo, and I get that. I swear I get it. But the question I have for you is, there's this thing, what we call God, as you said, God. They say the closest word to define God is love. When you have love down in this matrix for some reason, it sort of weakens you. And that's the same thing they said that's closest to God. And let me give you an example, my brother. I could be a warrior. I could run around this MFA like a king, chopping off heads, doing what I want to do, believing that it's fake. But the second they could capture me, say they capture me, and they tell me, Brother Rich, black magic, we're gonna cut your head off. I'll be like, man, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. This is an illusion. I'm gonna live forever. My soul is forever, eternity. But the second they say, we got your wife, I'm like, oh shit, all right, I'll sit down. I'm like, oh shit, you got me. So it's like when you threaten me, I know it's an illusion, but when you threaten somebody I love, then you got me. And you see it in the movies. That's how they get the gangsters. We got your wife, we got your kids. You see it all the time in life. Hey, remember, you know your daughter, you just enjoyed your daughter's play, right? Do you know where your daughter's at? And he's like, oh shit, where's my daughter? Is she in the bed? Is she in the bed? She's not in the bed because they got her. So it's like when we love somebody, when we have an attachment to somebody, something that's fake, and we're moving around freely, and we're warrior spirit, it becomes real, and we get weak, and we like, what you want, all right, I won't do that no more. Okay. Talk to me about that. Why is it that something that they say is so close to God makes us so weak in this matrix?
That's because we don't think like Kaiser Soze.
Explain that, brother. Oh, I'm sorry.
Anybody saw Kaiser Soze? When they threatened his family, what happened? Killed him. Yeah. You don't allow anybody to threaten anything, because if your karma brought you to that place and brought what your seed was to that place, then that was a contract that the three of you all, your children, everything. We tend to displace the fact that people who are in circumstances, no matter how young, they did not write their own contract before they came here. Since there is no beginning or ending, then what was this phase of your lesson plan? And how did you end up in this place? People who are very spiritual people don't end up in car accidents or upside a tree and so forth. They ones who pretend to be that way, yes. But what I'm saying to you is that it doesn't weaken the flesh. It only weakens what you think the flesh is.
Dr. Valentine, you have your family down there. If they threaten your family, you go.
Oh, I am worried. I'm not worried. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
My family is definitely protected, and I really give thanks to brothers like Brother Osiris and his family there, Brother Muhammad, and those brothers who had traveled all the way to be at my side, and other brothers around the country who have said that I would be on call. I have to make a phone call, and they'll get here by anything smoking. But that's all right. I understand, overstand that. I would never want to call on that just haphazardly. But I would tell you that if the spirit is strong, then the flesh could never be weak. If love does not enhance and strengthen you, then it's not love. It's a fleeting passion, a lust, or something that attracted you to that person that was based on a deficit on your part. If you bring deficits to a relationship, then yes, you will be weak. If you are balanced and whole, and you come as a whole individual in your mind and in your heart, and you know resolve as a man, and you resolve as a woman, and you understand that that particular coupling is supposed to strengthen you, then only when you come with a deficit can that particular thing weaken you. So if you're bringing in some kind of gangster, you're coming in with a gangster, and you got any kind of understanding and understanding of the lifestyle you lead, and that you're bringing your children into a circumstance that's going to endanger their lives, then unless they understand that and ready to throw down with you, then that is on you. Okay, that's a karma that they decided to share with you. But again, you never enter a relationship with a deficit. And deficits come in the form of baggage. That's a contradiction in terms, but if you understand what I'm saying, if you bring baggage, you're bringing deficits to a relationship. So bringing deficits to a relationship would automatically weaken you because you're coming incomplete. So as an incomplete individual, what are you asking that other person to fill in your life that you can't fill for yourself? Because you want a whole thinking, whole feeling, individual who is ready to surrender that aspect of themselves. In that particular relationship, as I said, women surrender power for love, men surrender love for power. And if you understand that equation and how it works to bring us together, then we will have a family. And that's why they took the power from the man and gave it to the woman. Okay? So understand and understand, we don't understand. What's missing from our equation is love. That's because the women have been forced into our positions. If you force a woman into our position and you take away our ability to give love, then she has to find it someplace else. She has to immerse herself in all kinds of distractions in order to get that particular feedback feeling. So until we reclaim what is ours as men, they will never reclaim what is theirs as women. Because they are the ones who support, we are the ones who lead. We are the action, they are the reaction. So understand that until we understand that give and take, and understand, sisters, that you have to now relinquish the power you've been given, because it's a false power. It's a power that decreases and erodes, it corrodes. It's not a power, there's no equality any place on this universal plane of existence. Nothing is equal because, as I said, no two things that are equal can occupy the same space. So I say to you, which is a very good question, Brother Rich, you never become weak by love. And if you are, then it's a drug.
Heard that?
All right? Because drugs weaken you. All right? And it's not enriching you. Love is supposed to enrich the space that you're in. Love is supposed to bring you peace. That's what a woman is supposed to bring. If she's bringing all kind of confusion and madness, then she's there to wreck your peace. And leave her alone.
Indeed.
Okay?
Well, since you brought up relationships, yeah, give him a hand, give him a hand. And during this interview, what we're basically doing, what I want to do is decode life from a metaphysical perspective. So it's like things that occur to people on an everyday basis that we may have questions about, but the good doctor here is going to decode it from a metaphysical perspective. In terms of relationships, you had a segment on your dynamic presentation today called Wellness. It was the end of your segment. And you brought up a lot of, you showed a lot of pictures dealing with homosexuality and trans, I guess they call it transgenderism. And my question to you, from my experience down here, I'm 35, from my experience, I mean, talking to a lot of dudes, talking to a lot of females, the psychology of the man and woman seem to be different from my experience in terms of how we cope with hurt and pain. They broke up the black family, as we know that. We can see that. That's prevalent from us walking outside every day. But in terms of the black relationship, from what I noticed, Dr. Valentine, when a man gets hurt, I talk to brothers all the time, when I'm in Brooklyn or wherever. Brothers get hurt by a black woman, you know what they do? Fuck that bitch, man. I'm going to Brazil to give me a woman. I'm going to give me this white girl. Or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. When a black woman gets hurt, she starts messing with other females. There's been a lot of situations where I'm talking to a female, not recently because I'm with my girl now, so I don't. but there's situations in the past, way past. I'm hollering at, I'm in the club hollering at a girl. She's like, I like you, but I don't know, men hurt me so much. I'm in the girls now. And I'm like, the fuck? I'm not, like, what's all about? So from the men, we're just like, I'm gonna mess with Becky, Cave Becky, as Red Pill says. I'm gonna mess with Cave Becky, or I'm gonna go to Brazil or get one of these exotic broads. But the woman's like, I'm messing with women. What is in the psychology that will make, and it's not just me, I've talked to a lot of brothers that notice the same thing. What is it in the psychology of the woman where it's, when she gets hurt, she goes to the same sex? When we get hurt, we go to a different race.
Well, I feel that particular jump is kind of contingent to the times, because it wasn't so, say, 20, 25 years ago. It's only now that homosexuality has been normalized in our community and been acceptable, which back in the days, if I was ever to see that walking through the projects, I would know there'd be 5 or 6 people whipping on that person for even trying to act and switch around like that.
But, I don't mean to cut you off, but in the projects, the woman always defends the homosexual.
But see, that's now. Yeah. Well, you have to understand that, and this is no aspersion to our sisters, women are more accommodating. They deal with unconditional love. We as men deal with conditional love. And that's what keeps the law in place. But now, since you don't have men dealing with proper conditioning of the society, everything can go haywire. Oh, it's all right. Oh, he's all right. Oh, him in a dress? Well, he does look kind of cute. See, women have a more accommodating, because that's their nature. They're more communal. But you can abuse that particular nature, as they have already done, because they've been conditioning the next few generations to accept this distortion in the gender equation. So, when you're dealing with people who are dealing with distortions, then automatically you're going to know that the sister is going to deal with whoever is next to her, whoever it is that she's going to feel comfortable with, because quiet as it's kept, women cannot be independent. There's no way in their whole nature are they ever even wired for independence. Women are wired for dependencies. They depend upon each other. They depend upon someone. You, as the male, you are the provider and the protector. You are the one who forges and creates families. Women do not create families. Women today are in survival units. They're not in families. There's no such thing as a single parent family. This is a survival unit. And that survival unit has been forced into all kinds of contradictory energies that force our people to act in ways that essentially are savage, beast-like. So when you take away a man's manhood, first of all, then the society goes to pot. I said this 25, 30 years ago. I said once the male starts turning into female, and once they start accommodating homosexuality, you're going to see the society just go hog-ass wild. And that's the way it happens. Men are the ones that structure the law. Now, this is no support of the conditions over there, but I could understand now what happened in Afghanistan. Because Afghanistan was just like this. I mean, there were drugs in the streets, there was crime, gangs, there was prostitution on the corners and everything. Now I understand why the Taliban actually came about. Because it was to restructure the order that they had. It went crazy on the other side, but they had gone so wild on the European, the decadence of the European model, that somebody had to stop the madness and pull it center again. Now watch, once there is peace in that region, Watch how everything normalized back again, and they ain't going to have to wear that burqa at this time. Right now, the war over there in the East is the war to maintain the masculine principle. Because feminism is over there, faggotry is over there, everybody is trying to export nihilistic thinking. In other words, two homosexuals are not thinking about a future. Two homosexuals are suffering from what I call psychopathic narcissism. If I'm a man and I'm in love with the body of another man, then I'm masturbating.
Yeah.
That's a psychological form of masturbation and a real sick and distorted form of narcissism. Narcissism gone to the 10th degree. Because if I'm now in love with the body of a man, that means I'm in love with my own body. And if you notice, the gay people are always in some mirror, always trying to buff up, always about this. And you men who are over there doing flexing and getting your body in order, that ain't us. We were never body conscious until the gays made us body conscious. Men don't really give a damn. We build, we want to be comfortable. I got my cave, y'all can have the house. Go ahead. I remember my mother came from 15 children, and I had cousins all over the damn place. And the men would be someplace else, smoking their pipes. The women ran the house. The kids were crazy. They were the cooks. They were the ones. They ran the house. It was a chaos of beautiful order, an order of beautiful chaos. And that was family. The men essentially provided the homes, provided the sustenance, provided the protection, and the women, they just took that and went and with their creativity created a family. And it was such a beautiful thing to be amongst my aunts and to see the love that they exchange, and they just come and they want to grab your cheeks and bite it and things like that and kiss you up and all of that. Where is that today for our children? Where do we have that for our children today? That sense of safety of being amongst family. We don't have it today. So we're nurturing lonely, state-raised children. And these state-raised children are there to undermine the progressive consciousness reality that you and you brothers and sisters are actually out there to actually profess and to progress. So homosexuality is a form of nihilism, autonihilism. In other words, you are embracing a form of extinction. If you don't see it as that, and it's not me to cast you any aspersions, because if you're looking at this logically, if they want us to have our children study this, to practice it, to even experiment with it, and I know people are hating me for this, because I'm not hating the human. I just don't want to be imposed upon with a nihilistic form of life, a lifestyle that essentially deals with death. Because I will not find the seed of a woman in the rectum of a man. So until we understand that that activity is one that leads to demise, I don't hate homosexuals, but because I tell you what you are, you're telling us what we are, breeders. You know, he's nothing but a breeder. Yeah, I am a breeder and proud of it. Understand that. So overstand and understand. There is a war on for your children's minds. Agenda 21 is to destroy the future of brown and black peoples. I know this is something that most of us are now, we done heard it so much we don't hear it. But brown and black people are under attack from a new form of weaponry. And it is to attack your children by telling them that the distortion that was created by the food, the distortion that was created by the water, the distortion that was created by the education system is now being propagated. Your children are being turned into gay. Watch the children's television. I showed you what it was, what they're doing with children in the TV, and I didn't really get as deep as I wanted to because we really didn't have the time, because you know my stuff go on for 6 hours, run my damn mouth for 6 hours. We didn't have the time. But there are cartoons, there are programs today that are allowing you and telling you it's all right for you to explore that alternate form of sexuality. Don't explore a goddamn thing, because what you're going to find, you're not going to like. And I'm trusting that you all are taking this at the spirit it's being given to you. It's not about hatred. It's about understanding a specific behaviorism they want us to adopt and accept that leads to genetic demise. Understand that. There's no really fancy words for it.
Some people feel as though you contradict yourself in your presentations. And
I'm a paradox.
I've wondered it myself sometime. And let me explain what I mean. The presentation you gave today and one you've given many times makes me still feel so powerful when you talk, when you deal with the mind and us being the God body or the eye of God or the body of God, and us being able to do whatever God does, and the universe being mental, and us diving into that collective soup of consciousness and figuring the matrix how we want. Making energy into matter, us being energy and matter being illusion. And I'm like, damn, I could do whatever I want down here. That's a good life. But then, Dr. Valentine, you load us with conspiracy theories, what we call conspiracy theories. And you tell us about what's going to happen 15 years from now, 10 years. And you've been a straight prophet for many years dealing with that. So me analyzing both of those perspectives, hearing this person say that, hearing you say that, what I want to ask you, Dr. Valentine, is because of quantum physics and because of conspiracy theories, are you really predicting the future, or are you helping to create the same thing that you don't want? By yourself believing in it, giving your attention to it, and then spreading it to the millions of black people across the world who have the energy and the battery, like in the Matrix, to make it a reality?
Good question. Very good question. That's why I like this brother. You're speaking about me actually enhancing predictive programming. No. If you listen carefully, I am telling you what to look for, because it's a probability based upon the treadmill that we're on, the specific path that we've been aligned with. Here's what to expect. The secret now is, now that you know what's getting ready to happen, what did I say? What actions are you going to take now? Because your now is your future. There is no future. There's only now. There is no past, because that's your thoughts. All thoughts are past. So you cannot have a future thought. So therefore, there is no thought about the future.
You hear this, man? Wow.
There is only now. So when I speak in the now, even though I speak about a prospective future. I say that because if you take this action, or that gate, or this door, here's what will happen.
Like in the that door.
This door, door number one, door number two, or door number three.
Right, okay.
So what you have to do is listen to what I'm saying. Don't ingest it and keep it in, because that gives you constipation of the mind. Take it and use it only as a guidepost. That's why I say don't follow me anywhere. All I'm doing is pointing. Here's what the deal is. Here's what it looks like. And from the presentation, I'm telling you that there are ways that they're going to come at your ability to deal with time. Why? Because time is the congealer. Time is the adhesive to all your thoughts and all your projective visions. Without time and the mastery of time, in the now, not the future, mastering time now by saying, removing words like, I'm going to be. I'm headed for that, and I'm seeing myself over there as that. I'm going to be that. As soon as you say, I'm going to be something, it means that you have distanced yourself from your objective. And when you created more distance, more time. So the idea is, if you are a time traveler, then that's because you're projecting yourself in a place that doesn't exist, but only in your mind. And now you've created the time.
In the now.
In the now. For then. So what you do, you pull back and understand that only in your now are you anything. There's no future. The future only seems to be something that you're headed to. If you're saying, well, I'm going to be a this, instead of saying, I am that, Once you've done that, you've just completely taken time out of the equation. And you are that in the now. It's called the isness of being.
That was going to...
Okay?
Yeah.
If you don't come into the isness, then you'll be trapped in the was. And then circling the wagons and going around in circles about what could be. So your now is all there is, beloved brother. So whatever it is that I'm speaking about in the future is only speaking about what's now so that you can prepare your now. Not your future, your now.
That's dope. That's dope. You know, you mentioned religion earlier, and you, as you do in a lot of your presentations, and the mind control that religion brings to society. And me observing reality as everything being mental. My question to you, Dr. Valentine, let me give an example. Say two people's rent is due. And we got to pay this rent. I got to take care of my family and my kids. And one person whose rent is due is a Christian who believes in Jesus. The other person whose rent is due is a metaphysician, and they believe that God is not an external being for themselves. They are an aspect of God.
Yeah.
The Christian believes in Jesus, believes that Jesus will help them more than the metaphysician believes that he has the ability to help himself. So, the Christian gets what he gets. The rent is paid. The metaphysician gets kicked the fuck out. He's homeless. With that being said, is it really about religion and belief systems, or do they only serve as a permission slip to tap into our innate power? So it doesn't really matter that guy believes in Jesus. He tapped into that innate power. Meanwhile, the metaphysician couldn't tap into innate power.
Indeed.
So should we criticize Christians and those who believe in this Jesus that's never coming back the way we do if they're getting more results than us?
Okay. Well, first of all, that's a good question. Again, the Jesus...
Black magic. God, Holy Ghost, Lord, Bata, orgasmic, order more acid, more than 4 tablets, portal door passage, born before mortal war happened. We were lords way before we were poor black men. Now we like Catherine, only having 4 Jacksons. Sword of pure magic, slaughter 4 dragons. Heat like corduroy fabric, door-to-door tactics. Easy like tortoise on boarded floor backspins. Rapping like the man that created it, and I just play with it. Shine radiant, raising it, sunbathing it. Voice tone sharper than razor tip when I aim it at megaliths, make them raise and lift. You can't relate to this, even if you paint a pic of me and you and somehow make the faces switch. I like to babysit, throne made of baby skin, donated by natives that procreate in sin. They gon' need to raise the rim, they gon' need a cage in that gymnasium. I play to win, Will Still Chamberlain. Put the globe on my middle finger and made it spin. They gon' need to raise the rim, they gon' need a cage in that gymnasium. I play to win, Will Still Chamberlain.